Welcome to this tutorial on kubectl Explain. Kubectl Explain is a powerful built-in documentation tool that allows you to access Kubernetes API documentation directly from the command line. Throughout this video, you'll learn how to use this command to understand Kubernetes resources without needing to leave your terminal or search through external documentation. Kubectl Explain is a command-line tool that displays comprehensive documentation for Kubernetes resources. It shows you field descriptions, data types, and requirements for any API resource in your cluster. This tool provides instant access to API schemas right from your terminal, eliminating the need to search external documentation while writing your YAML manifests. It's like having the Kubernetes documentation built directly into your kubectl command. The basic syntax for kubectl Explain is straightforward. You type kubectl Explain followed by the resource name. Optionally, you can add a field path using dot notation. The resource can be any Kubernetes API resource type, such as pods, deployments, or services. The field parameter is optional and allows you to specify a particular field path within that resource using dot notation to drill down into nested fields. Let's look at a basic example. When you run kubectl Explain pods, the output shows you the kind, which is pod, the version, which is v1, a description explaining that a pod is a collection of containers that can run on a host, and finally a list of main fields available on the pod resource, including API version, kind, metadata, spec, and status. This gives you a quick overview of the resource structure. One of the most powerful features of kubectl Explain is the ability to explore nested fields using dot notation. For example, kubectl Explain pods.spec shows all fields within the spec section. You can go deeper with kubectl Explain pods.spec.containers to get details about the containers field. You can drill down even further with kubectl Explain pods.spec.containers.image for specific documentation about the image field. This works for any resource, like kubectl Explain deployment.spec.replicas to learn about replica count configuration. The recursive flag is incredibly useful for getting a bird's eye view of a resource. When you run kubectl Explain pods.spec with the recursive flag, it displays the complete field hierarchy for that resource without the detailed descriptions. This makes it perfect for quickly browsing all available fields and their structure, giving you a comprehensive outline of what you can configure in that resource. Kubectl Explain supports several additional flags to customize your output. The API version flag allows you to specify a particular API version to query. For example, kubectl Explain deployment with API version equals apps/v1. The output flag lets you change the output format between plaintext and plaintext OpenIPv2. You would use it like kubectl Explain pods with output equals plaintext OpenIPv2. These flags give you more control over the information you receive. Kubectl Explain shines in real-world scenarios. When writing YAML manifests, you can use kubectl Explain service.spec.ports to understand port configuration. To learn about resource requirements, use kubectl Explain pod.spec.containers.resources. When working with config maps, kubectl Explain configmap.data helps you understand the structure. For security contexts, kubectl Explain pod.spec.securityContext provides detailed information about available security options. Here are more practical examples. For ingress configuration, use kubectl Explain ingress.spec.rules. To understand persistent volume claims, run kubectl Explain pvc.spec.storage class name. For deployment strategies, kubectl Explain deployment.spec.strategy shows available options. When working with stateful sets, kubectl Explain statefulset.spec.servicename provides specific field documentation. These examples demonstrate how versatile kubectl Explain is across different Kubernetes resources. It's important to understand how kubectl Explain differs from other kubectl commands. Kubectl Explain shows API schema documentation for resource types and fields, essentially the blueprint. kubectl describe displays detailed information about specific running resources, showing their actual state. Kubectl API resources lists all available resource types in your cluster. Kubectl get retrieves the current state of one or more resources. Each command serves a different purpose in your Kubernetes workflow. Here are some best practices when using kubectl explain. First, use the recursive flag to see the complete structure, then drill down into specific fields for detailed information. Always explore unfamiliar resources before writing manifests to understand what's available. Check field requirements and data types to avoid validation errors when creating resources. Combine kubectl explain with kubectl API resources to first discover available resources, then learn about their structure. These practices will make you more efficient when working with Kubernetes. Let's recap the key takeaways. Kubectl explain gives you access to API documentation without leaving the terminal. Use dot notation to explore nested fields and understand complex resource structures. The recursive flag shows the complete structure at a glance. This tool is essential for writing accurate YAML manifests and understanding Kubernetes resources. Kubectl explain is truly your built-in Kubernetes documentation tool, always available at your fingertips. Thank you for watching, and happy learning with Kubernetes.
If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit codelucky.com for more such useful content.